It been 20 years, bro. It been 20 years. I figure if I wasn't built like that, it'll show by now. It been 20 years, bro. I done faced every challenge motherfucker that like to throw at me, man. You ain't seen me fold.
King Harris is back in the headlines once again, and this time the drama is way messier than any Waffle House fight or skipped court date. His own baby mama just blew up the internet after allegedly leaking what fans are calling a gay tape of King. And to make it even wilder, Boosie jumped in and straight up clowned TY for how he raised his son. Now, whether that tape is real or fake doesn't even matter at this point, because the internet is running with it like it's gospel. Speculation about King's sexuality has been floating for years. People whispering he looked a little fruity, others saying his baby was just a cover-up to shut the rumors down. But with this leak, all of that old chatter is catching fire again. And it gets uglier. Fans are dragging up every rumor from the past, whispers that King might not even be the father of his son, claims that his baby mama only got pregnant to secure the bag, and talk that he's been cosplaying a gangster lifestyle he never really lived. Every skeleton people ever thought he had is now being pulled out of the closet, one by one. But here's the part that really shook things up. Boosie didn't even clown King directly. Nah, he threw shade at TI, basically saying this mess is a reflection of how Tip raised his boy. That turned a messy leak into a full-on family feud playing out in front of the world. So buckle up, because we're diving into the paternity drama, the baby cover-up theory, King's alleged fake gangster persona, his chaotic public spirals, and how Boosie flipped this whole scandal into a way to humiliate TI in front of everybody. And let's be real, King was already under fire about whether he was really the dad of his son before this tape even hit the blogs. From the very second King's baby mama announced she was pregnant, the internet side-eyed the whole thing like it was a setup. The first red flag everybody kept pointing out, she's older than him. And that alone had folks blasting her online saying, "Girl, you knew exactly what you were doing." Then came the clip that lit up the blogs, King with his baby mama and their newborn trying to paint the picture of a perfect little family. But the internet wasn't buying the fairy tale. Instead, the money talk exploded. People swore up and down she only had that baby to secure the Harris bag. They said she saw the fame, the family legacy, and the money tied to that last name, then decided to cash out. And whether it was true or not didn't matter, because the comments piled up nonstop. When the baby finally arrived, instead of quieting the gossip, it only added fuel to the fire. That's when things really turned savage. Strangers on social media started posting, "That baby doesn't even look like King." Others claimed he was rushing into fatherhood just to flex his so-called grown man status. King fought back hard, hopping online to call the baby his twin, insisting they looked exactly alike. He even doubled down by blasting pictures everywhere, writing, "Y'all can't tell me this ain't mine." But here's the twist. The more King pushed it, the less people believed him. And it wasn't just about the baby's face, it was because of the whispers about his sexuality that had been floating around for years. So when that pregnancy happened, fans instantly thought he was just trying to prove something. And now, with this so-called tape out in the open, those same people are digging up old receipts and saying, this was the plan from the jump. Use a baby to silence the rumors. That's where the whole conversation started taking a turn. Because while people were already dragging King over the baby situation, others started pointing out that this ain't even the first time he's been accused of putting on a performance. For years now, fans have been saying King has been cosplaying a gangster lifestyle, like it's some kind of role he's desperate to play. He talks tough, throws himself into beefs, and acts like he's straight out the trenches. But then reality checks in. This boy was raised by T.I. and Tiny. He had money, privilege, and spent most of his childhood with his grandma. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't exactly scream, "I grew up in the struggle." It screams comfort, not chaos. King even admitted in his own words that he spent a lot of time living at his grandma's house.
I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, "Hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house." They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back to my grandma's house.
And that's exactly why folks don't buy the act. Every time he jumps online yelling about being from the hood, the comments light up with people saying, "Be serious. Fans say he's been forcing this street image just to mask the fact that deep down he doesn't really fit that gangster role. It's almost like King's fighting two battles at the same time, trying to prove he's a father and a man while also proving he's some hardened street soldier. But instead of making him look strong, it just makes his spiral look more obvious. And the spiral hit a whole new level when those infamous Waffle House clips went viral. One video showed King straight up screaming at employees, threatening people, and acting wild over some late-night food. The internet couldn't believe T.I. and Tiny's son was out here losing it in public like that over fast food.
But what I'm saying is, they wasn't
talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the fuck I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File your shit.
Come back.
What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here. Come on.
And trust, it had everybody clowning. Here's King straight up wilding out at Waffle House, the clip that had the whole internet clowning. And the craziest part? His own dad went live the very next day, basically admitting he couldn't understand why his son felt the need to go back and forth with a short order cook. T.I. said he and King's uncles already tried to drill some sense into him, reminding him that he's living a life most people would kill for. Fame, money, privilege, opportunities. So why stoop down and argue with folks who are just working their jobs? But clearly that talk went in one ear and flew out the other, because right after that, King's name started popping up again and again, and always for the wrong reasons.
Of course I spoke with my son. You know, me and his uncles. You know, we were perplexed by his necessity to go back and forth with a short order cook. I didn't understand why he felt he needed to stop what he was doing to engage someone who was at such another level of life. And I had to explain to him that, you know, when people are not living the way they hope they would live, and here you is walking in with so much freedom and luxury, and you know people gonna posture themselves a certain way. So therefore, you're gonna have to enjoy your life. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life.
The biggest blow came when his arrest footage finally dropped online, showing exactly what went down during his 2024 traffic stop in Georgia. According to police, King nearly smashed into a squad car while pulling out of a gas station. Cops said they smelled weed pouring out of his BMW, and when they checked him, he had a gun sitting right on his hip. Then it got worse. When they ran his info, turns out he had a warrant just sitting there from way back in 2022. That case? Tied to speeding, driving with a suspended license, and even a DUI. He was supposed to show up in court, but he never did, which is why that warrant was waiting on him all along. The leaked video showed officers yanking him out, cuffing him, and hauling him straight to county jail. And while King wasn't wilding in that footage, surprisingly, he actually stayed calm, the damage was already done. The internet had receipts now, and the narrative of King spiraling out of control only got louder. To the internet, this was just more proof that King's life is spiraling out of control. And in case you missed it, the whole arrest video is out there. Yes, even the part where King Harris is being read his rights. At this point, fans weren't just calling him reckless anymore. They were saying every single meltdown, from the Waffle House fight to the skipped court dates to the arrest footage, looked like a desperate cover-up for the deeper rumors that just won't go away. But then, just when things couldn't get any messier, guess who decided to jump in? Boosie! Instead of staying quiet, he allegedly started clowning T.I., throwing slick shade about how his son ended up in this whole mess. And the internet instantly caught it. It wasn't really aimed at King, it was aimed straight at T.I. That's what makes it explosive. Because Boosie isn't just some random voice talking, he's got a long history of stirring the pot. And let's not forget, this is the same man who's been caught saying wild things about sexuality before. He once had to publicly apologize to his own daughter Iona after making homophobic comments about her being gay. He jumped on Instagram, tried to walk it back, and said he was sorry. But everybody knew what he really meant when he first said it. So now, with Boosie inserting himself into King's scandal, it's not just a messy leak anymore. It's turned into a direct shot at T.I.'s parenting, wrapped up with all of Boosie's history of controversial takes on sexuality. So when people saw Boosie inserting himself into King's drama, the reaction was instant. Isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? Because let's be real, Boosie's got his own family issues and a history of messy comments he still hasn't cleaned up. Yet here he was, clowning somebody else's kid like he was in the clear. But there's another layer here that makes it even wilder. Boosie hasn't exactly had smooth sailing himself lately. Remember, he just took a plea deal on those gun charges, and if things go sideways, he could be looking at another stretch behind bars. So for him to be out here trolling T.I. while his own legal problems hang over his head, that tells you right away this wasn't just about King, this was personal. And if you've been paying attention, the tension between T.I. and Boosie has been brewing for years. Their so-called friendship has been shaky, with little jabs and disagreements popping up long before this tape drama. To really get why Boosie is even in the mix right now, you've got to rewind the clock and look at the timeline of their beef. Because once you see it, everything clicks. It all started when Boosie made headlines for blasting Dwayne Wade's daughter after she came out as transgender.
I gotta say something about this, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have it figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything at 16 and fall in love with her. But his be gone. How you gonna, like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his off, bro. Like, bro, for real. If he gonna be gay, let him be gay. But don't cut his off, bro.
That moment lit up the internet and had people dragging him for being flat out transphobic. And guess who was one of the loudest voices calling him out? T.I. exclamation mark. T.I. wasted no time. He went straight to Instagram and told Boosie to mind his business and stop worrying about another man's kids. That moment right there planted the first seed of a feud that's been growing ever since. A couple months later, things went from shady to straight up hostile when Boosie called T.I. a snitch over his old federal gun case. Boosie went on Vlad, bold as ever, saying, "That means you're cooperating. That means you're a rat." T.I. wasn't having it. He clapped back hard, saying he'd never let anyone disrespect his family and made it clear he wasn't scared to go head-to-head with Boosie if it came down to it. And that's when the snowball started rolling. By summer, Boosie was already going after T.I. again, this time about his parenting. He dragged up the infamous situation where T.I. admitted he once took his daughter to the gynecologist, and Boosie blasted him for being controlling and out of pocket. T.I. snapped right back, firing shots that Boosie was the last person on earth who should be giving parenting advice. From there, the gloves came off. They weren't just arguing about snitching rumors or parenting anymore. They were trading blows over family, street credibility, and respect. This wasn't just rap beef. This was personal. For a hot minute, it looked like things calmed down, with both of them hopping online saying they were moving on and had no real issues. But by 2023, the feud reignited like gasoline on fire. Boosie accused T.I. of not standing up for him during his legal mess, claiming Tip left him hanging. T.I. clapped back again, saying he was done babysitting grown men and wasn't about to defend somebody who couldn't stop disrespecting him. So fast forward to now, and it's crystal clear. Boosie jumping into King's scandal wasn't random, and it wasn't just messy clout chasing. This was personal payback, years in the making, and Boosie finally saw the perfect chance to twist the knife in public. It was another chance for Boosie to poke T.I. right where it hurts. And with King already sitting in the middle of non-stop internet drama, Boosie couldn't resist stirring it up. The second that alleged tape started making the rounds and Boosie chimed in, the internet wasted no time tearing King apart. And trust, some of these comments were brutal. One person flat out wrote, "He was always weird looking to me. Too bad he took after Tiny and not T.I." And that cut deep because people have been dragging King's look since he was a kid, always comparing him to his parents. Then somebody else went even harder, posting, "He looks like that clown always trying to kill Bart Simpson, Sideshow Bob." And the internet ran wild with it. Side-by-side photos started flooding feeds, and it became the new joke of the week. But the comment that really blew the roof off was this one: "King about to be queen." That one line sent everything spiraling out of control because it wasn't just clowning his image. It tied straight back to the years of speculation about King's sexuality. That's why this whole scandal is bigger than just a leaked tape. It opened the door to every rumor people never let go of. And with Boosie tossing fuel on the fire, the conversation shifted from just a messy leak to something way deeper, about King's identity, his reputation, and the never-ending feud between Boosie and T.I. The truth is, King Harris is caught in the middle of a war that's been brewing for years, and now he's paying the price in public. If you're keeping up with this saga, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you on the next one.